Today, we're diving into a pretty incredible new study where neuroscience and AI have come together to tackle one of the biggest puzzles out there, our own emotions. I mean, think about that for a second. It sounds like something straight out of a movie, right? But this very question is at the heart of the research we're looking at. It kind of challenges everything we think we know about self-awareness. So, to really get why that question is so huge, we first have to talk about a problem that's been bugging neuroscientists for a long, long time. This weird puzzle of how we even talk about our feelings. You know how it is. Someone asks you how you're feeling, and you might say, "Oh, I'm happy," or "I'm feeling a little anxious." But those simple little words, they're trying to describe this incredibly complex storm of activity happening inside your brain. And well, it turns out our words just aren't always up to the job. And this isn't just a hunch, you know. Scientists actually have a name for this problem. They call it the behavior neural gap. It's this simple but frustrating fact that when we try to rate our emotions on a scale, those ratings are actually pretty bad at predicting what our brain is really doing. There's a serious mismatch. And this right here, this really breaks it down. On one side, you have what we say, our attempt to put a feeling into a neat little box with a word or a number. But on the other side, that's the reality. It's this rich, complicated pattern of signals. And trying to force that reality into a simple label might just be distorting the very thing we're trying to understand. So if our own words are kind of getting in the way, how do you get around that? Well, the researchers on this project came up with a pretty radical idea. What if you could get something to make millions of emotional judgments without all the baggage of human language and rating scales? And that's where the AI comes in. And the task they gave it is it's so clever in its simplicity. It's called a triplet odd one out task. The AI just looks at 3 different videos and has to pick which one is emotionally different from the other 2. See? By never asking it to use words like happy or sad, it allows the real underlying structure of emotion to just sort of emerge on its own from millions and millions of these simple choices. And when I say millions, I really mean millions. The AI made over 7.1 million of these judgments. Just think about that. That's a scale that would be absolutely impossible for human participants. And that's what let the researchers build this incredibly detailed map of emotion. Okay, so the AI has done all this work. It's created this massive map. But is it any good? Like, how do you even test that? Well, you set up a competition, of course. They created a few different emotion maps and put them head-to-head in what is basically the ultimate test. So here are our contenders. First up, you've got the maps built the old-fashioned way, from human ratings. That's kind of our current gold standard. Then you've got 2 AIs. One is a language-only model, an LLM that just read text descriptions of the videos, and the third is a multimodal AI, an MLLM, that actually watched the videos. And this slide really gets at the key difference. It's a concept called sensory grounding. The language AI, the LLM, it's learning about emotion from abstract words. It's like reading the book. But the MLLM, the multimodal one, it's learning from multiple kinds of data at once, text and video. It's like watching the movie. It has a direct connection to what's happening, a lot more like we do. So this is it. This is the big question. When you put a person in a brain scanner and have them watch these same videos, which one of these maps, the human one, the text AIs, or the video AIs, is going to be the best at predicting what's actually happening inside their head? And the results of this whole showdown, well, they weren't just a little surprising. They might actually change how we study emotion from here on out. I mean, you'd think, right? Everyone just assumed the map built from what humans say they feel would be the best predictor of human brain activity. It just seems logical. But nope, that's not what happened at all. And this chart says it all. I mean, just look at that. That tall bar, that's the multimodal AI, the one that watched the videos. Its map was way better at predicting human brain activity than any of the others. It even beat the maps that came directly from our own self-reports. The researchers put it pretty bluntly in their paper. The AI didn't just do well, it actually bridged that behavior neural gap we were talking about. By learning from millions of judgments on raw video, it somehow landed on a map of emotion that's closer to our brain's reality than the one we make with our own words. So this is obviously a huge discovery. But what does this new, more accurate map of our own emotional world actually look like? What secrets is it hiding? Well, the first big lesson is all about that sensory grounding idea. It seems that to really understand emotion, you need more than just abstract concepts from language.
You need a connection to the world through rich, dynamic data. Like actually seeing things.
But what's really cool is that this new AI-generated map also helps us settle a massive, decades-long debate in the science of emotion about what feelings even are. Okay, so for years, you basically had two main camps. One side said emotions are like distinct categories. You've got joy over here, fear over there, anger over there. The other side said, no, it's more of a spectrum defined by things like how positive or negative a feeling is or how calm or excited it is. Well, the AI's map gives us a fascinating answer. It's kind of both.
The map shows that, yeah, our feelings do seem to be built around core categories like amusement or fear. But these categories aren't hard-walled boxes. They're these smooth, blended transitions between them. So it's a hybrid structure. And this provides some really powerful data-driven evidence for a more modern theory of emotion and basically settles that old debate. Which, of course, leaves us with this final, really mind-bending question. We started this off wondering if an AI could understand our emotions. But this research shows it's not about an AI having feelings. It's about using AI as this revolutionary new kind of tool to create a better, more honest map of our own inner world. And if it can do this for our emotions, what other hidden landscapes of the human mind is it about to help us discover next?